Welcome back to another week of PUL action. We have an exciting South Division matchup here. The Raleigh Radiance play host to the Nashville Nightshade. It was one of the fun annual matchups we get here in the PUL South each year. Alongside Sarah McKee, I'm Daniel Prentice to bring this one to you. Mickey, we're used to seeing this matchup, division rivalry and everything, but this one has a bit of a different feel to it than we're accustomed to seeing, with the Radiance here at a 1-2 record. We're usually used to seeing them atop the division here, but all of a sudden find themselves in a must-win situation after a tough loss in Atlanta in their last game.
That is correct. Atlanta last week, or the past few weekends have
2
been
weekends ago, I
2
believe.
weekends ago. Thank you.
Where does the time go?
Well, the past 2 weekends we have been working really hard since that loss, and I'm really excited to see all the work that we put in come into this game.
Yeah, Mickey, you do get to have some special insights here, but before we get to more on what we're looking forward to seeing in this game, we're going to shout out our corporate sponsors here, including Discraft. The Discraft Ultrastar is the official disc of the Premier Ultimate League. Discraft, the world leader in disc sports. Also like to thank Breakmark. This live broadcast, the Premier Ultimate League, is brought to you by Breakmark Ultimate Apparel. Go to breakmark.com to place your next custom team order or check out the PUL Athlete Collab shops. So, Mickey, you were saying, it's been a couple weeks since that tough Atlanta result.
Correct.
Really, the Radiance are not unaccustomed to, suffering a tough regular season defeat. But I do think it was not a performance we're accustomed to seeing from this team. It was close to the first three quarters, held scoreless in the fourth quarter as really a very strong Atlanta team pulled away there in the end. So what has been the tone of the team since then? What have been the key points of focus as the team looks to right the ship and get back into a hunt for the playoffs?
Yeah, we've talked a lot since that game. Talked a lot as a team as a whole. Talked a lot O&D, small groups, just trying to hear each other and figure out what needs to be done to get us into our zone of optimal performance, or our ZOP, as we like to call it.
Shout out Jesse Schaffner.
Yeah.
Old Ultimate heads will know.
And everybody has their own way of doing it, and we are just trying to find a way to get all of us on the same page of being in our best ZOP. And sometimes it's a sloppy ZOP out there, and we embrace that. Even if one of us isn't at our best, we're trying to cheer each other on and get everybody to their best potential, and I'm hoping to see that today.
Yeah, we were down in the field before the game and seeing the team warm up and talking to head coach Jenna Dahl. There were no apparent lingering hangovers from that last game. Team seems to be in good spirits. You talk about sloppy, though. We will have to keep our eye on the wind, which has been fairly gusty down at field level. Wind going to be going across, pretty much due across the field, or with the field, I should say,
Yes.
left to right across your screens. So the Radiance will be pulling into that wind to start the game, it looks like. They will be in those red tops and black shorts today in the home kit. Really sharp design for the unis this year from our partners at B, I have to say. It looks like it'll be Jenny Way to get us underway on the PUL. Just moments away now. Head observer Mitch Dangler counting us down, and we are off. It'll be Nashville in white to get us started on offense as they pick up the PUL. We didn't get a whole lot of an opportunity to talk about Nashville before opening PUL, but 0-3 on the season, but coming off of easily their best performance, a one-loss defeat to Austin Torch in their last game. We see an early turnover here and an early break opportunity for Raleigh. Naomi Anderson with the disc. But easy interception underneath there. Macy Hudson's look interrupted by the Nashville defense. Rebecca Fagan paints the disc over to the far sideline. Grace Robinson has it. Fagan again. Big into the front cone, connects with Holly Sullivan. So nice job by the Nashville defense or the Nashville offense on the second chance. They get the game's first hold. Take another look at the opening turnover of the point, intercepted by Naomi Anderson. But something that has plagued this team, Mickey, this team being Raleigh, of course, has been the inefficiency with that D-line offense. You know, a lot of roster turnover from last year's team that made the championship game. A lot of that loss has been in the backfield space. It's been a very different look to the backfield units on this team. Still some kinks trying to get worked out there.
Yeah, we're really working on trying to get the disc moving, fast breaking or tempo, as we like to call it, and really just choosing a throw and trusting our teammates to catch that and make a cut that is just direct, and so we can work with each other without hesitation. Hopefully.
Yeah, something the team will continue to look to improve on.
Exactly.
And after giving up that opening hold, we now get a look at the Raleigh offense. It's Ellen Yu to initiate.
Very excited to see Ellen today.
Yu was a player who was absent from that Atlanta game. Just had something silly like graduating from veterinary school to take care of and couldn't travel with the team. So thrilled to have her back out there. Certainly one of the more competent throwers on the roster, but pretty easy work all the way into the end zone. Caitlin Gross finds Julia Hoffman.
No surprise to find Julia Hoffman in the end zone as she leads in the goals for the PUL. This should be her 11th of the season.
We also got a good look at Ellen Yu running the show for the most part, but nice quick connection from Gross to Hoffman for the Raleigh score. So through 2 points, we've got 2 holds. In Nashville, looking for their first ever win over Raleigh. They have had some stars come through the program and have given some Raleigh some good games for sure, but have never been able to find that path all the way to victory. Lila Stanland on the pole this time for the Radiance.
Nice defensive pressure.
Just a couple of resets. Sullivan completes it up the middle. Annalie with the disc now for the Nightshade. And Sullivan goes a little too high for Sylvia Brown. She is one to keep an eye out for, Holly Sullivan. She'll lead the team both in goals and assists on the year. But the missed throw there does give Raleigh a chance to break. Here's Lyra Olson. Gains the power position, but no one cutting deep at the right time. Anderson to Jessica Wu, who's unmarked at the moment. Stanley drops it back. And then a miscommunication between the two handlers there. Not on the same page and results in another turnover. Sarah Mogg picks up, and that one is taken away by Jenny Way. Way to read the play there. So Raleigh gets another crack at the break.
It's a good time to set up our deep shots.
No one going again, though, for Olsen, who again got in that power position. Stanland. She'll put it deep, looking for Julia Zwerzinski, and that is on the money. Nice use of the deep space. Nice throw from Stanland. Raleigh gets the game's first break. So there you go, Mickey. You called for the deep shot looks.
came from a side of the field I didn't expect, but we got the work done. Nashville just came back from a pretty close game against Austin. Seems like they're really putting the work in as well.
Yeah, we talked to their coaching staff before the game, Mickey, and total reset from the team, it sounded like, after those first 2 defeats to open the season, which really were, just not very competitive. They changed offensive and defensive personnel. They kind of completely gutted the systems they were relying on, and certainly looked a lot better in that very close defeat to Austin. They also highlighted that, it's going to be key to maintain the energy in this one, so it'll be really curious to see how they respond to giving up that first break.
Raleigh getting their first downwind point.
Really nice cut there. Catherine Gilbert to gain some space on the centering pass. Annette Gross with the disc. Stacy Liu with it for the Nightshade. And that one off the hand of Melanie Thomas. Raleigh looks to go the other way. Isabella Bevins pops it up top, finds Sadie Cutler. Sophia Thayer now as Raleigh enters the red zone.
A little crowding.
And when you get crowding, you often get a pick, Mickey, and that's what we do have here.
Absolutely.
Disc back in play. Cutler to the front cone, connects with Macy Hudson. Nice work there by the Raleigh D-line. They punch in another break. Looking back at the sequence that led to the Raleigh possession. Pretty good disc movement out across midfield, and that's when Melanie Thomas would want back. But something we've not seen a whole lot of from any Raleigh D-line unit, which is a clean possession the other way. One opportunity results in the break, and now all of a sudden a 2-goal cushion.
I believe that's a rookie-to-rookie connection here, too.
Sadie Cutler and Macy Hudson hooking up. Quite a few new timers on Raleigh this year. Quite a few familiar faces as well, but definitely a more roster overhaul than you're usually going to see for this Raleigh outfit.
Yes.
So Nashville has the wind in their favor once again. Fagan finds some space for a nice gainer. Savannah Sullivan now, but that one ends up in the turf for the turnover. Anderson will pick up for Raleigh.
See if we can get our upwind defense offense going.
Quick disc exchange between Anderson and Lyra Olson. And all alone downfield is Rzinski. Plenty of space to camp under that one. And Raleigh is threatening once again. Stanley drops it back to Wu. Couple players in the area there, but Rzinski makes the play. That one a little low from Olsen. Anderson did have a chance, got both hands on it, but unable to make the shoestring grab. Intercepted underneath. Lila Stanland takes the first throw away back.
Doing what she does best.
Let's see if Raleigh can convert on the well-earned opportunity.
We have been practicing our end zone a lot.
Wu just outside, drops it back to Olsen. Natalie Wilson gets the touch and then continues to Zwerzinski. And it's 3 straight breaks now for Raleigh. Excited to see another look at that Lila Stanlin takeaway. Looks like first we'll get a look at the turnover that gave Nashville possession back for the second time of the point.
Lila makes it a goal to lay out D, at least one player, a practice.
If memory serves, Stanlin, a player who was not on the Radiance last season, back with us this year, and just a treat to watch. I mean, has grit for days and is always underneath defensively there, applying pressure or getting blocks, and certainly got her just rewards on that play. And now Nashville in a little bit of danger here, having given up 3 straight breaks. Let's see if they can find a way to end the streak going up the wind, which does seem to have slowed down a little bit. Melanie Thomas in the middle. Two players share the catch there. Thomas ends up with it in the end. And then the easy find in the end zone there, Bree Snipes for the score. So Nashville is able to put an end to the run. Nice offensive possession there for the Nightshade. Thomas to Snipes for the Nashville connection. And Mickey, how nice is that? You know, you give up 3 straight breaks. You feel like, you know, the game is maybe in danger of slipping away. Not only do you get a hold, but you get a clean hold. You know, you're able to iron out those kinks a little bit. How much of a grip back in the game can that be for Nashville?
I imagine it feels like a breath of fresh air to get back on that train.
Yeah, we talk all the time about how difficult it is to play road games in this league. And for the game to get out of hand right from the get-go, it can really be a big blow to the team's energy levels, the team's morale. So just to stem the bleeding there a little bit has to be huge for them as we see Raleigh come back the other way. No early pressure on that reset. Caitlin Gross, nice sliding grab. And now looking deep for Erica Birdsong, but it's intercepted. Nice play defensively by McAfee. And that one a little underthrown to Birdsong. You don't really see her get beaten in the air much. But a miscue in the backfield for Nashville is actually going to give Raleigh even better field position than they would have had before. And there's LNU to cap it off. So quick work from Raleigh after the turnover, and they punch in the hold.
I was saying earlier that I would be surprised if I didn't see Ellen doing some full field hucks or doing some fancy assists, but I did not have her catching in the end zone on my list. But she does everything, so
complete player, really, you might say.
Yeah.
You see the miscue from Nashville, just not able to connect pretty early in the stall count, but good pressure on the handlers from Raleigh. And Mickey, that's something that when we talked to Jenna Dahl, Radiance head coach, about another area where the team felt like it could improve, which was when the offense gives up a turnover, they really struggled to get the disc back at times this year. Very quickly, though, that time around, getting it right back, maintaining good field position, and punching it in.
Yes.
It'll be Julia Zwerzinski on the pole this time for the Radiance. And Sarah Mogg to pick up for Nashville.
Sarah Mogg coming in this game.
We see a big shot from Fagan, and that one hangs up just long enough for Grace Robinson to reel it in the end zone. Sorry about that, Mickey. It seemed like he wanted to get some commentary in there.
And throw, why not? I was excited to see the outcome.
Yeah, Bex Fagan took your moment away from you. Great throw there from the former area player here. Those of you who've been around the Triangle Ultimate scene for a little bit are certainly familiar with Bex, former UNC Callahan nominee and former Raleigh Radiance player.
Coming back to Sarah Smog, not to take her away from the spotlight, is she is currently the 4th in total touches with 114 touches this season, but I imagine this game will bump that number up significantly.
Mickey, that's another area as well, going back to that Fagan deep shot. An area where they felt that they were not aggressive enough in previous games.
Correct.
Attacking that deep space, taking those deep shots.
Yes.
And that was head coach Jared Trevor that we were speaking to. Really one deep shot from them so far in this game, and it's led to one goal.
Yeah, we'll see what the wind does here today. Still looking like it's going across the field pretty consistently.
Ellen Yude to Mary Rippey. Quick reset to Emily Shakuski. Awkward grab for Gross, but she's able to hang on to it. You back across the field to Gross. And Yu's going every other here. Yu pops it to the front of the end zone for Julia Hoffman. Really nice, aggressive cutting throughout that point from the Raleigh O-line, and that gets them the clean hold.
Yeah, one thing about LNU, when she has the disc, I feel like it's very hard on defense to know where she's going to throw it. Because if something is just a little bit open, she can put it right there.
And you taking on a bigger role, perhaps, than even normal, with no Audrey Lyman in attendance for Raleigh, who is the team leader in assists. So a big chance here for Ellen to maybe try to catch up to her teammate in that tally. But she was one that was highlighted by Jenna Dahl as a big player to have back after not having her in that Atlanta game. Certainly one of the more confident throwers on this outfit.
And who's keeping score? But I think that's goal number 12 for Julia Hoffman this season.
You know, knowing Juju, I feel like she might be keeping score.
I bet she is.
But she has been a tremendous addition to this Radiance roster. Rookie season a year ago, led the team in goals last season as well. Now she's going to lead the whole league. Nice grab by Fagan on the far side. Mogg to Sullivan, but that one was a little bit of a tough grab for her intended target. Well defended at the very least, and results in a turnover. Nearly taken back by Sullivan, and now taking advantage of the no mark to send down a forehand, but that one off target. Stanley, no real chance of that one from Sadie Cutler. Mogg taps it in at the front line. Fagan just off of that far side. Pushes the forehand down, but that one's smacked away. Nice play defensively. Sadie Cutler gets back to atone for her throwing error on the previous possession. Hudson picks up for Raleigh. Cutler swings all the way around, but looks like we have a call to be deliberated here.
Maybe an uninvolved pick.
Looking like it. So the disc will stay. Cutler looks to get it right back. Ooh, and a collision down in the end zone. A couple of players who were just not aware of where each other were. Thankfully, Hudson does pop right back up, and it looks like we'll have no contest on that call. So she will tap it in right on the line. Way's able to make that grab under pressure from Fagan. A 6-on-6 matchup between those two. Great cut from Natalie Wilson, and she's ruled not in. She pops it to Meg Duffy, but is now getting called for a travel. This has to be bringing up some nightmares for Wilson, who had a pretty brutal outruled against her in the last Raleigh home game against DC, and that led to a turnover. Not to bring up any bad memories for any Radiance fans out there, but thankfully this time it looks like Wilson will get to keep the disc. We'll just have to check it back in.
Redeeming moment for Willie here, hopefully.
Players trying to figure out where they are supposed to be for the disc to be checked back in live.
A lot of defenders around Willie.
Disc back in play now, and well defended by Nashville to take away that first look to Duffy. Hudson tries to push it to the far side and grabbed. Nice play there, Sophia Thayer. Thought that one was going to be defended by Fagan, but fearless effort from Thayer to get to that one. And she gets what I believe may be her first goal as a member of the Raleigh Radiance.
Absolutely. Sophia's been working very hard at practices. I'm very happy to see her with her first goal.
Another look at the would have been score. And Mickey, you mentioned the team has been working on their red zone offense. Yes. Not sure if that's exactly how they would have designed their punch in there, but it worked all the same.
Yes. That is the slop zop.
You did mention the slop zop before the game, and if you didn't have a visualization of what that might have been before, you probably do now. We are now under the 1 minute to go mark in this first quarter. And these end of quarter moments can be so key come the end of the game. They really can be a couple goal swings here either way. Big push to the end zone, right on the money and just inbounds as well as Bree Snipes. No, just outside of the line. My goodness, my apologies. I really thought that one was just inside, but ruled out for the turnover. That's got to be a heartbreaker for Nashville, who thought they had just strung together a really nice offensive possession. And now Raleigh will have 30 seconds or more, if they still have possession at the end of the timer, to go all the way the other way. Swatted to the ground. Nice catch-up defense by Thomas. Able to intercept that shot up the line. A nice fingertip grab by Torrey Radcliffe. Nashville trying to take advantage of their second chance, and we are beyond zeros on the clock now. So this will be the final possession of the quarter.
It was very similar to our practice drills at this point. Trying to keep possession as long as possible, trying to rev up the defense as much as possible.
And that pop out of the hands of Lou is beyond the reach of her intended target. So Nashville comes up empty on that red zone look. The Raleigh defense isn't able to get the break, but they are able to keep Nashville out of the end zone. And we'll have a 7-3 lead into the first intermission. So a very strong start for Raleigh as they look to bounce back from their previous game, but Nashville will have some work to do here if they're going to remain in this one. But they did show some signs of finding their deep game in the later stages of that quarter as well. So as the two teams take a break, we will do the same and be back in just a moment. This live broadcast is brought to you by the Premier Ultimate League. The PUL is a 501c6 nonprofit. This league has been community funded since day one, and we are so grateful for the support. We ask that you consider donating to help us continue to transform and fulfill our mission. Head to premierultimateleague.com to donate today. I'd also like to take this moment to thank some of our local corporate sponsors. For one of our local corporate sponsors, please know that we very much appreciate your support, and we would not be able to put on the season we do without you guys. Thank you, Lori Marcy Real Estate, for making our 2026 season possible. Thank you to all the individual sponsors this season. Thank you to Select PT, UNC Ortho, Wellsport Massage and Bodywork, Carolina Pain and Performance, and O2 Fitness for keeping our athletes strong and healthy. Thank you, Brooks Pierce, for legal support. Thank you to our photographers for capturing great photos of our team today and on the live stream as well. And thank you to the Carolina Flyers for their continued support and partnership. This is part of a double header today. Very exciting day of professional ultimate in the Triangle. So be sure to check out that Flyers game this evening. Mickey, pretty exciting first quarter there. Raleigh had that string of breaks, but from that point it felt pretty even. Mm-hmm. Do you have any key takeaways from our opening period?
It really looks like Nashville's doing what their coach told us they would do. Really keeping up that tempo, taking the shots that are open, and Raleigh seems to be up and down on their offense, but hopefully this next quarter they'll bring it in.
And they will be starting on offense in this quarter. It's Thomas on the pull for Nashville. And Lemieux to quarterback. The point for Raleigh resets to Emily Shakuski.
It's a nice go play.
Contact from behind Gross on that throw attempt. Leah Shorb does not contest the call. You a little bit behind Claire Revere on that one, and Nashville will get the chance to break on our first point of the second quarter. Little off the mark there from Thomas, trying to connect with Shorb. So Raleigh gets another chance to come back the other way, and we do have a pick call just as Erica Birdsong was breaking free deep. Looks like this one is between Gross and Shorb to figure out where everybody's supposed to be. Disc back in play. Julian Hoffman wide open, but perhaps a little too open. Gross unable to find her for the connection, and Nashville takes back over. Looks like Mary Rippey is calling a foul on Thomas. So a bit of a stop-and-go start to the second quarter so far. Oh boy. We had a player start early, which was going to result in a violation, and now we have a timeout called by the Nashville coaching staff. Let's just reset. Let's just pretend these last couple of minutes haven't happened, and let's just say it's Nashville disc here right around midfield. It doesn't look like the wind has picked up on us, just some sloppy play to get us started here in the second quarter, Mickey. So Nashville with the chance to break would be a big one for their effort to get back into this game. And it looks like they will actually make wholesale personnel changes as well. They're getting the offense out there.
Looks like Raleigh Radiance is doing the same with their defense.
It'll be Mogg to get us started once Meg Duffy checks it in. Good defense across the field from Raleigh. But Mogg able to complete that give and go, and now looking to take advantage of the power position, but that one's going to sail out the back. Not quite enough field space for the throw that she was trying to pull off there. So Nashville got themselves into a really good position, unable to capitalize, and they'll have to go back on defense. Anderson gets it to Duffy. Way comes underneath, and as she is wont to do, chucks a big forehand downfield, and Thayer is there to reel it in nicely. And now Stanlin puts one to the end zone for Zwierzinski. It hangs, but Zwierzinski is able to attack, get up, and reel it in. Quick flip of the field for Raleigh, and they punch in the hold.
One fun thing about Jay-Z is we see them doing handstands as their warm-up. Something I don't think I'll ever be able to do.
No, I don't think it's in the cards for me either. I have to be honest. But Jay-Z certainly one of the more impressive athletes on the field today. And this one hung and hung and hung. I think more probably than the thrower would have liked, but Zwierzinski always maintained the most advantageous position. And Mick, you have to say, as someone who, just is observing this Radiance team, seeing Jenny Way come under like that and then immediately boost that flick, I would think that's something I would want to see a lot more from this Raleigh personnel, especially as we see them maybe struggle sometimes with the traditional handler personnel available to work it all the way down the field. J-Way is certainly a player who can win those underneath and deep spaces, but is a very powerful thrower and can certainly turn a stagnant possession into a scoring chance very quickly. As we see Nashville go the other way now with a hanger of their own. And that one also reeled in by McAfee. She gets over the top of her defender very well and then connects right in the middle of the end zone with Snipes. So quick work by Nashville after giving up the first point of the quarter. Their offense matches in kind with a nice possession of their own.
Yeah, regardless of being a handler or cutter, really just working off of the superpowers that each player has.
Yeah, you got to find a way to play to your strengths, right?
Mm-hmm.
We saw Nashville playing to theirs on that point. Very, very well. And they're not going to shy away from this one. We know that to be true. They've got players that have been here before, PUL veterans, and veterans of this very matchup. So they will not be discouraged by the score line. But they do have to find a way to start converting on some of those break changes. They were able to generate a couple of chances on the last Raleigh O point. Booming pull as Raleigh starting a little bit deeper in their own territory this time, but still able to clear their own red zone pretty quickly. You muscles it to Birdsong, who fakes the big backhand deep. Mary Rippey's there, unmarked. The explosive grab from Birdsong, able to save possession. She's fouled on the throw attempt. She'll keep the disc. What a play by Erica Birdsong to save. Here's Revere. Shakuski now. Back to Rippey. And that one right off the hands of Birdsong, what looked like a bread and butter catch.
Can't have it all.
A traditionalist might say conservation of greatness, perhaps. Either way, it is a Nashville break opportunity. Julia Hoffman with the point block, takes it right back. Raleigh will have a short field now to punch this hold in. And Shakuski finds Revere with ease. So after the defensive effort from Hoffman, Raleigh punches in the hold on the second chance.
I believe Erica Birdsong was coined our biggest bird bidder recently.
Well, she certainly showed you how she earned that title on that point. I know she'll be beating herself up about not making the easier grab a little bit later. But it's a lot easier to get over a mistake like that when your team still manages to punch in the score.
Yeah, with the help of Juju's block right there. Very nice work.
Hoffman just very athletic as well as long.
Mm-hmm.
And took advantage of that wingspan of hers to stuff that throw right at the release.
I was going to say, we do seem to have a very tall O-line today.
Yeah, despite missing Claire Hackle today, who's one of the taller
Yes.
players on the team.
Mm-hmm.
Another reason that perhaps we should see this team attack downfield with a little bit more aggression. We see Nashville with it now, though. Holly Sullivan is going to go downfield, but I don't believe that Anna Lee was ready for the throw there. Didn't realize it was up in the air until it was already on her. And it's swatted away by Thayer for good measure.
I do like that they're taking their deep shots, though.
Here is Jenny Way. Natalie Wilson all alone. And It does look like Nashville is playing a bit of a zony junky look here. So far, no trouble for Raleigh, though. Wade knifes the forehand around the mark to Duffy. That Duffy throws it into a pair of defenders, really not sure what she was looking for on that one. And now Nashville has a break chance the other way. Sullivan just outside as Raleigh is trying to play catch-up. And they will not be able to get it sorted out in time. Nashville takes advantage of the fast break opportunity, and they punch it in.
Very nice footwork from Brenna Snipes.
And that, to me, Mickey, feels like the kind of turnover that you hate to see from, the Raleigh point of view. Unearned turnover from a Nashville perspective. I think it had to have just been a miscommunication from Duffy. She thought someone was coming under who ended up not coming under. I'm not sure.
Seems to be the case.
Either way, it does lead to a fast, and that's the worst kind of turnover, really, right? I mean, just the miscommunicated under, because all of a sudden it's a 3-on-1 the other way. And Raleigh was able to slow him down a bit outside the end zone, but not enough to take the disc back.
Here's our Big Bird offensive line again. See what they can do.
Is that the official name for the line? The Big Birds?
Well, once Claire Hackle comes back.
True, we do need Hackle back out there. McAfee's pull, reeled in by Gross and centered to Shikuski. You uncorks a big backhand, looking for the Big Bird herself. Birdsong tracks it in and taps inside the line. Quick use of the deep space leads to the Raleigh score.
It's a great connection. The way Ellen can huck a disc within a split second with that much power is pretty incredible.
She is a fun one to watch. And that's one of the rare times we've seen the timing of the deep cut there as well. We've seen a handful of times where Raleigh has had that power position, but no one going deep at the right time. But Birdsong timed the cut to perfection, and then you put it right there for her. Not sure if there was a timeout or what. Feels like a bit of a lengthier break between points here, though. We are back now underway. Mogg to Holly Sullivan, cutting across, and she wants to go deep right away, looking for Fagan, who gets just enough space just in time downfield. And Raleigh never quite able to catch back up with Holly Sullivan there, whose big throw entered the red zone for the Nightshade, and then she was there to cap it off as well for the quick Nashville Holt.
Holly Sullivan being the third in leading goals in this PUL season, coming into this game with 6 goals.
And I have to say, it's really nice to see Rebecca Fagan playing at this level again. She kind of disappeared from Ultimate there for a bit, at least at the highest level. But on her day has so much explosiveness and style and verve to her game. If you've never checked out her Callahan video, do yourself a favor and go check that out, because she is a walking highlight reel.
Oh, yeah. It's always great to see her back in North Carolina. Well, in the Triangle, really. She's around.
Quick give and go there between you and Shakuski. Nice grab by Shakuski and finds Caitlin Gross in a lot of space, and she and Revere are going to get a lot of yards here. Curse the commentator, of course, as that last one's a little wobbly. Forced Revere down to the ground to reel it in.
When I describe Radiance stop, it really, I think that zone O encapsulates that whole definition.
They're able to find their way through that early zone and then off to the races. And, of course, who else but Julia Hoffman there to cap it off to add to her impressive goal tally on the season.
13.
And, yeah, I would be surprised if we see Nashville continue with that kind of junky zony look early in D points. It has not appeared to work to my eye the last few times they've tried it.
Agreed. It seemed to have given us a little bit of difficulty in the Atlanta game last weekend, which may be why they're trying it on this. But I think we've figured it out again. We're back.
You heard it here first, folks. Jenny Way to get us back underway. No one on the disc there. Still nearly a takeaway, but Grace Robinson's able to make the catch under pressure from Stanland. Tori Radcliffe. In and out of the hands of Savannah Sullivan. That was a little behind her. I think she'd probably still like to have reeled that one in, but it is now a chance to come back the other way for Raleigh, and Bevins connects to the end zone. And Raleigh quickly takes advantage of the turnover. They punch in the break.
Bella just recently graduating from NC State.
Congratulations, Bella. Take another look at the turnover. Once it was dropped, Raleigh was off to the races. Bevins finds Sadie Cutler in the end zone for the pretty easy break conversion. And again, that really has to be such a joyful point there for the Raleigh coaching staff to see the Raleigh D-line be able to fast break like that. It's really something they've struggled with in previous games.
Absolutely. Our fast break coach seems to be missing today, Brett Magzuka.
Maybe he's the problem.
But
no, kidding, of course. Brett is a very valuable addition to the Raleigh coaching staff. Very glad to have him back with us this season.
Mm-hmm.
Nice grab to save possession there in the middle of the field. That was Stacy Liu. Another nice grab. That one high for Noelle Holmes, but she's able to reel it in. High stall, but Holmes able to connect with Gilbert, and Gilbert looks for the rest of it, and she converts. Leah Shorb goes full extension in the end zone. Nashville gets the no. Oh, I'm not sure what the turnover is here. Was it dropped in the end zone?
I don't know.
It certainly looked to my eye to be a score there. I apologize for that, viewers.
The dangers of a clap catch. Sometimes that landing just gets the disc out of your grasp.
Either way, it is Raleigh's disc, and they're going to call a timeout here. presumably to change the personnel up with the full field to go. But that's another heartbreaker for Nashville. They've had a few of those where, to my eye, and granted, we are pretty far from that side of the field where we are in the press box in Durham County Memorial Stadium. We'll get another look. This is earlier in the possession there, the saving grab from Stacy Liu. Yeah, I guess it must have just come out there. We still couldn't really see it from our angle, but I mean, there was no argument or anything from Shorb or any other Nashville player, so it must have popped out there late. And as I was saying, that they've had a few points that easily could have been scores for them on plays pretty similar to that, either just a bit out of bounds or a missed throw from a good position down in the red zone. Nice cut from Ellen Yu after finding Shakuski. Great fake to open up that space for the throw across the field as well. What a play defensively there for Nashville. Snipes takes it away with the layout block.
Ellen's going to be thinking about that one tonight.
Great grab underneath as well. Callie Wickland saved possession for Nashville, and they're going to call a timeout. So, coaching staff for Nashville sees this as a very key opportunity, obviously. Down 6 here with under a minute and a half to go in the half, and head coach Jared Trevor throws that timeout flag on the field as soon as they enter the red zone. Great play to take the disc back and a great play to save possession. Just like I said earlier, Nashville not going to go down quietly here. And sometimes those big plays, those high emotional plays, they can really swing against you. They can really swing for you. And they, based on this timeout, are trying to make absolutely certain that this is a momentum builder for them. So, Mickey, are you putting that turnover on Ellen there? You said she'd be thinking about it tonight.
I mean, I do think it was a great defensive block. Whether or not Ellen could have taken a step into the disc more, I can't say. But I've had many moments like that where, you can't control your nightmares.
That is fair. That is very fair. So let's see if Nashville can take advantage of the opportunity. And they can. Impressive work in the red zone. It's Holly Sullivan to cap it off at the front cone. And then a sister-sister celebration there as well. You love to see that after the two connect for the score.
That is a great feeling going into half with a score like that.
Savannah fighting her sister Holly for the Nashville score. I wonder how many years they've been rehearsing that one.
That's what I was going to say. That was great. 10 out of 10. Quarter is not over yet.
No, the minute 17. You really could have a couple of possessions here still.
I really, yeah.
And it does look like it's turning into a pretty nice day out there. The clouds have gone away. Still a bit windy, though, on the field, it would appear, based on our flags. Julia Hoffman. Thought about going deep to Mary Rippey. Thought better of it, though. Rippey comes underneath. Birdsong comes across. No one there for the continue from you. Mary Rippey just a few yards outside the end zone. You snags and then continues across to Gross. Patient work from the Raleigh offense in the red zone leads to the clean hold.
I've heard from a source today that Caitlin kisses her Labubu every day before leaving the house. This could have given her the strength for this goal.
Now, Mickey, the way you said that makes me think you have no idea what a Labubu is.
Oh, boy. Is that how it's pronounced?
I believe so. I am not an owner of any Labubus. You know, they're. I think they're a Gen Z thing.
Is that not? Is it a dog?
No.
Oh.
No, not in any way. No, it's like it was like last year's Beanie Babies. Like the fad. They're kind of like I don't know if they'd be cute, ugly, or ugly cute. Probably ugly cute, I guess. But yeah, thank you for the Labubu insight. I'm glad I could share this moment with you.
Thank you. If anybody would like to DM me a picture
about
of
Labubus,
Labubu.
yeah, that is a good call. Yeah, send Mickey your best Labubu pics.
Please.
Just so I feel like you're not prepared for what they look like. I'm going to be honest.
I don't know if you can put it in these YouTube comments.
No, probably not. And that's probably for the best.
Yes.
As we near the end of the first half here, big moment in this game you feel for Nashville. I think just a big difference between going into the break down 6 and going down 5. Fagan unable to save possession there, and now all of a sudden Raleigh will have a chance to break going into halftime. Nice grab by Bevins under pressure, and Jenna Dahl calls timeout. So she certainly senses the opportunity to put an emphatic punctuation mark, I should say, on the end of this half.
Yeah, Jenna, we really trust her with these timeout calls, and I believe that was a great time to do so.
Yeah, that was something I was disappointed with the team's performance in their last home game against DC, because I did feel like it was such a strength last year was how the Radiance performed at the end of quarters, and really did not succeed in that mark in their previous home game. But yeah, an aggressive use of the timeout there. Let's see if it pays off in a conversion. This will be with Emily Shakuski in the middle. So I guess they're not going to give credit for the throw that kind of seemed to be happening as the timeout was called.
I don't believe so. Jenna really likes to call her timeouts right before it leaves someone's hand.
That does seem to happen pretty often.
I've been there.
Shakuski has Revere on the restart. Gross is all alone. Rippey leaps up for that one from Revere. Shakuski knocking on the door. Revere gives it right back to her.
Decisions.
Not sure if Revere was looking for Hoffman or Birdsong, but it's Birdsong there to reel it in. And there, that is a point for the timeout. Indeed, Raleigh does get the break to push their lead out to a 7-goal advantage into halftime. So nightmare there for Nightshade. They were looking for the hold of their own to send it in, and then Raleigh does a masterful job patiently working it in, taking full advantage of those end of quarter opportunities. And so they will take a 14-7 lead into halftime, their biggest halftime advantage of the season. Strong bounce back performance from them so far, but we do have a whole extra half of Ultimate coming up for you folks. And so with the players, we will take a breather and be back for what should be an exciting third and fourth quarter. Just about set to get back underway here for the second half between Raleigh and Nashville. It was a pretty exciting first half there. Both teams putting some highlight reel plays out there for us. It is getting a little lopsided on the scoreboard, but Mickey, would you agree with me in saying that the game feels a little bit closer than the current 14-7 score?
Absolutely.
Nashville had some real close opportunities that they didn't quite convert, and quite a few of them ended up in Radiance break. So it'll be interesting to see how they're able to try to get their way back into this one. And if Raleigh can keep the things going that worked so well for them in that first half. We do see Nashville starting on offense here in quarter number 3. Grace Robinson drops it back to Rebecca Fagan. in and out of the hands of Holly Sullivan, who was one of the standouts in that first half for Nashville. She'll certainly want that one back. It's a free break opportunity for Raleigh. Naomi Anderson gets tall to save that one, and now boosts the forehand downfield for Duffy. She's just outside the end zone, drops it back to Rebecca Wu, and then Wu a little too hasty to get it back to Duffy there, I think. And so Raleigh comes up empty on their first break chance of the half. Mogg and Silliman trade it back and forth, nearly intercepted for what may have been a Callahan by Wilson. But Nashville does turn it over one throw later. Missed what happened in the end zone there. Not sure if it was a slip from a cutter or just a miscommunication. And Nashville now looking to go the other way quickly, but that huck is out of reach for Robinson.
The wind seems to be changing direction this half. Instead of going left to right, maybe going front to back, side to side.
Is that something
Whatever way you want us.
As a player, Mickey, do you want to keep consistent wind or you know?
I mean, I do want to keep consistent wind. I think as a player and probably as a coach to try to find the team's weakness and build up on what we can do on defense or offense to kind of beat them at what they're bad at. If they're bad at, I don't know, being on the high side, being on the low side. There are many strategies, but it's something to come back on the next half and try to dominate. And now that the wind has changed pretty much 90 degrees, who knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, another adjustment these teams left to play through. We did see Raleigh punch in the break there. Natalie Wilson, the one who to cap off the point. So some sloppy play. We did see that at the start of the second quarter as well, where it felt like it took both teams a little bit to get going again after taking that after quarter break. I mentioned the wind. It does, regardless of which way it's going, it does look like it is slowing down a bit. It was rather gusty.
Yeah, it's a bit tough in the stadium. The bleachers and the way that it's set up really makes the wind swirl, and it can gust pretty hard down the field.
See Nashville back out there on offense. Sliding grab under pressure by Stacy Liu. She's made a few grabs like that this game. And that reset drops between a pair of handlers, Gross and Holmes, and now Raleigh quickly going the other way. Lila Stanland settles down in some space. Hudson drops it way back to Way. And she gets the give and go through Olsen. And Lyra Olsen is able to swim free for the quick little handoff from Jayway. Another break for Raleigh here in the third quarter. And that's such a tough one, right between those two players. And you think if Holmes wasn't in that space, Gross might have had a better chance of attacking it and saving it.
Yep. Yeah, the fine line of going for it and being safe.
Yes, we always want the players to be as safe as possible out there, of course. The thing that makes Frisbee great, in my opinion, is also the thing that makes it dangerous, which is unfortunate, which is that floaty disc we're playing with. But so, Mickey, let me ask you this as someone who is an invested observer of this team. You know, you're up here with me because you're unable to play yourself, but you are a member of the Radiance. So as someone emotionally invested in this team, what are the brights that you've seen so far in this game as an improvement from what we've seen from the Radiance so far to this point in the season? Does anything in particular stand out for you?
I mean, there are a lot of similar things that we have done throughout this season that I see. I do like that we are taking defense up a notch and kind of playing more as a team in defense, and I see that we are communicating a little more in, who's pushing to the stack, who's coming back as a handler. We kind of trust anybody to be a reset, and so this communication is really key to tell everybody who's where and what they're going to commit to and how that's going to lead us to a success. And
yeah, it has been a much more fluid performance, it seems, from Raleigh, where we've seen when they've struggled a lot of stagnance.
Yeah, the hesitation has really been these critical moments that have kind of, I don't know, we've kind of lost it when we hesitate. And I'm really glad to see some of our players, especially our rookies, just take the chance to throw to an open receiver. And, that's how you get the disc moving. That's how you play Frisbee. Got to do what you got to do. And hesitating is a killer sometimes.
Well, there is an age-old expression that goes, she or he who hesitates is lost, as they say. I think that certainly can be true in the world of Ultimate, especially when you have the disc. It's so important to attack that space and make it your own, right?
Yes.
And so after giving up that hold to Nashville, finally able to get a foothold in this quarter, we will see how Raleigh does just that. Their first O-line point of the quarter.
It really seems like Raleigh has not been changing up the O-line as much this game. Seen the same 7 on.
Sweet give and go between Hoffman and Rippey. Oh, and it looks like the observers disagreed there. Looked like there was one to rule in, one to rule out, and Julia Hoffman will have to settle for just the assist on that one. She finds Claire Revere. After some confusion, I think, between the observers. I did see one observer rule in and then was overruled by her fellow member in green.
As we have learned from Willie, we do not drop the disc until the observer's arms are up.
That is exactly right.
So it was a great celebration from Juju for keeping it in her hands.
You could see the little bit of frustration there and the wry smile. I do think she'd rather have added a goal to her season numbers than the assist there. But
yes. It's okay. I'll be congratulating the 14th goal.
You can't score them all, Juju. I'm sorry. So Raleigh gets to trot the defense back out there. Emma Cole with the pull. And a big backhand downfield from Anna Lee. Olsen not able to get a hand on it, but able to disrupt the attempt to grab it enough anyway. Tori Radcliffe not able to reel it in.
This game seems to be a great opportunity to work with our chemistry for the Radiance.
And J-Way says, to heck with that, I'm going to go for it all. But Sophia Thayer not able to squeeze it in the back of the end zone. Again, one of those plays where the defense not able to get the block, but maybe the presence enough to prevent the catch. And that throw not on target for Rebecca Fagan. So Raleigh will take back over with the short field. Duffy's able to find Olsen to get it off the far side. Stanley with the mac to herself and the save with the full extension grab. Olsen, a lot of heat on that pass. I think it got up on Thayer quicker than she thought it would. Mogg steps through that mark and finds Sylvant. Radcliffe slows it down a bit. Nice grab by Mogg. That one behind, and Wilson was right there defensively. Another nice grab from Anna Lee as well. And then in traffic is Tori Radcliffe. Savannah Sullivan looks for the sister connection once again and connects. There she is. Holly reels it in the back of the end zone. And the sisters are right there for the celebration as well. The Sullivans connect. Nice point there for Nashville after a couple of real break scares there that Raleigh could not convert on.
Maybe a little miscommunication downfield on who was going to respect that deep option.
And that's something, Mickey, I feel like you see so much where there's a few very nearly moments defensively. You really kind of ramp that pressure, and it feels like everyone gets suffocated, like not suffocated, but vacuumed towards the disc. And if they can make it through there, then all of a sudden there's space downfield. Such a pretty throw from Savannah to Holly. Caitlin Gross for the Radiance. Everything underneath for Raleigh right now as Gross gets it again. Couple of bids to try to save that one, but the off-target throw from Gross falls empty. And that grows for Nashville as they try to push it beyond the backfield. It's been all back there so far this possession. Nice defensive pressure from Mary Rippey. Not sure if she got a paw on that, but I think her presence was enough to get the turnover. U has it now for Raleigh as they look to punch it in. Oh, just beyond the reach of Rippey.
Maybe a little whiplash.
Yeah, she was going full speed and hit the deck, trying to catch up with that one from you.
Really zippy inside. Just a little too far.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where you really have to get that angle just right, and Ellen just missed it. And possibly a case of the wind picking back up. Get a look at the flags. They are going, so that wind might have just turned that disc over a little bit too much.
Right.
Disc back in play, checked in by Birdsong. Holly Sullivan rears back for a big backhand and tracked down as well. What a grab by Callie Wickland to make the play. Big gainer for Nashville. They will call the timeout as they sense the opportunity to take advantage of a rare Radiance miscue in the red zone this game.
Mm-hmm. When I see Jenny Way running for a disc like that, I clutch my pearls. I fully expected her to lay out for that D, but great footwork by Nashville to keep that in bounds.
J-Way certainly one that does not often shy away from going for the big explosive bid.
Mm-hmm. She may be listening to her physical therapist.
Let's hope so. J-Way actually CEO of the Raleigh Radiance as well, so we need her healthy and at her best at all times,
yes.
or we're really in a world of hurt. But that is to take absolutely nothing away from Callie Wickland, who really made a great play on that one. After the timeout, we are back in play, and this one is going to go to Holly Sullivan, whose big throw earned the opportunity for Nashville. She's there to cap it off, and they are able to convert on the opportunity.
How many goals do you think that she has
Scored in this
game?
You know, Mickey, that is...
She might be doubling her goals she came in with.
I have to be honest. When I am in play-by-play mode, the thing that happened is gone. The thing that happened 10 seconds ago is gone in my head. You could tell me she had 5 goals. You could tell me she had 2 goals, and either would be equally plausible to me.
You know,
that's just how my brain
works,
works,
unfortunately.
unfortunately.
So many times.
Yes.
She could have scored all the goals in my head. Coming in with 6 from the season in 3rd place.
Yeah, she has been very fun to watch, I have to say, and is not a player that I have been super familiar with from before this season and before this game. And it is her first year on Nashville, so an exciting talent.
Yes.
Coming through the Nightshade program, perhaps.
Definitely one to respect in the end zone.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've seen her prowess with the throw as well. So
yes.
She and her sister out of the Huntsville, Alabama area. Exciting to see where she may pop up. Ellen Yu with the snatch right in front of the defender, and then they continue to Julia Hoffman.
Happy 14th, Julia.
The goal scoring machine. I think I kind of combined Julia and goal there, which makes sense because those two are together very often. Mm-hmm. And Raleigh responds to giving up the last score with a nice clean hold there. So, Mickey, as a player yourself who is, a veteran of the Premier Ultimate League, where a lot of the Ultimate you play will never see a scoreline like this.
Right.
Right. Mm-hmm. What is the morale like on either side? You've been up in these games, you've been down in these games. Yep. How different is that feeling of being in a kind of a lopsided score in a PUL game where you got to keep playing to the end of time, regardless?
You're playing for the rest of the season. I don't think any point really changes the goal that we have, which we have recently had meetings on what is the goal this season since that Atlanta game. So I really do expect every line to have just that common team goal mentality in every point that happens.
Oh, and we see a sweet grab there.
That was great.
Great, quick work, and it was Sylvan, the assister that time.
A switcheroo.
Indeed. She's got a stat pad in both categories, right? She's leading the
Mm-hmm.
team in both, so great push there for the end zone, and then the that is such a tricky grab, the trailing edge.
Yep.
Nice job by Grace Robinson. Sorry to cut you off there, Mickey, but
Oh, no.
that play deserved some
That
shine.
really did. That really did. I really love seeing catches like that. You put trust in whatever ligament is out in the air, and that just
Whatever appendage.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
I gotcha.
I just tore a few ligaments, so that's been on my.
Yeah, no, that is fair. That is valid.
But yeah, it really is a crazy moment when you just give it your all to catch a disc, and it just meets your hand, and it's there. Just magnetic. It's great. But yeah, being on a line with people you may not play with ever again after this PUL season is indescribable, really.
That's why we play team sports, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
For that connection as we see another hook to the end zone, and Hoffman gets up big for that one.
My goodness.
They've mostly been easy scores for Julia Hoffman today, but she can do the highlight reel ones too, folks. It was Caitlin Gross who put it out to space for her big cutter downfield. And Hoffman high points it perfectly.
I've since looked up what a labubu is.
Yes, please take us back.
I'm sorry, Caitlin. It's not a dog. But
What are your thoughts? How do you feel about the labubu? Are you going to invest?
it's cute
Mm-hmm.
in a way.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the appeal.
I mean, yeah, I can see Caitlin having a few, kissing them goodnight. Maybe I'll have her bring her favorite one to a game one day.
Yeah, I think we should. Maybe we can get him in the booth for the next game.
Ooh. All right. Here we go.
J-Way's pull loses some steam late there. Sarah Mogg, as she has so often for this Nashville offense, gets them started. Fagan wanted to go for it all, but everyone's deep cut was cut off. Robinson goes for it, though, looking for Mogg. Tried to go handler into deep cutter there, but the throw was off the mark.
Ooh.
We've seen that a few times from Raleigh, but it hadn't happened a whole lot since the first quarter. But Bevan's kind of faked out her own teammate there. And now Nashville has the short field. But that one too far, no chance for Anna Lee to make a play on it. Anderson will pick up. Got another timeout flag on the field right as Olsen was able to cut up for some space there. Don't think they're going to get credit for that throw. Or perhaps they will. It looks like they will. I definitely think that timeout was called before that throw.
I agree.
You know, we have the bird's eye view up here,
Yes.
Mickey. We get to see, you know, the timing of everything perfectly where those observers on the field might not necessarily get to.
Yeah.
Another look at the turnover that set up the possession for Raleigh the first time around. And then that forehand that just got carried away by the wind. Took any chance of a play away from Nashville. And now with the offense out there for Raleigh, they're going to see if they can go into that wind. You muscled a backhand through it, but did not give it enough height to give anyone a real play at it downfield. So Fagan takes the easy block. Just seconds remaining in the quarter, so this will be the last possession before the fourth quarter. Radcliffe drops it back to Mogg, who gives it right back.
Nashville being able to work it through the middle has been very impressive. Ooh. And now I curse.
That's okay. Mickey, if you keep doing this, you're going to have a lot of curse the commentator moments. It is unfortunately unavoidable. That one beyond the reach of Savannah Sullivan. So as the disc hits the turf, that will bring us to the end of the third quarter. We've got one more period coming up. We'll take one last break and be back to bring you the end of this one. The Discraft Ultrastar is the official disc of the Premier Ultimate League. Discraft, the world leader in disc sports. This live broadcast is brought to you by the Premier Ultimate League, and we are so grateful for the support. Oh, excuse me, I jumped ahead in my reads there. I need a bigger line break, I guess. This live broadcast of the Premier Ultimate League is brought to you by BreakmarkUltimate.com. Go to breakmark.com to place your next custom team order or check out the PUL Athlete Collab shops. This live broadcast is brought to you by the Premier Ultimate League. This PUL is a 501c6 nonprofit. This league has been community funded since day one, and we are so grateful for the support. We ask that you consider donating to help us continue to transform and fulfill our mission. Head to premierultimateleague.com to donate today. And there is the Breakmark logo there. My apologies to our producer for getting that one mixed up. I'd also like to take this moment to shout out our longest-running gold sponsor here at the Radiance, Lori Marcy Real Estate. Like the Radiance, Lori is dedicated to and competitive. She's always aiming for the ultimate victory, finding you the right home. Reach out to us for her contact info or to her directly for any home realtor needs. So we get set here for quarter number 4 between these two. Raleigh and Nashville. It's been a fun one, Mickey.
Yep.
Especially that third quarter brought some real highlight reel plays. We hopefully get to see some more here in the fourth. If you had to pick out a play of the game so far, what pops out to you?
A play of the game.
We have an embarrassment of riches to choose from, really.
Really do. For Radiance, I really enjoyed seeing Erica Birdsong lay out in that first quarter. That she's been coming from various injuries, and it is so good to see her back on the field and being as explosive as she is.
Yeah, that was a sweet one. Up there for me as well would be the Julia Hoffman score we saw last quarter, the Big Sky. And there is Birdsong out on the far side, but play going to come to a pause here.
We also can't forget about the Nightshade D on LNU by, who was that?
I believe that was Bree Snipes.
Yeah.
Yes, that was a very impressive play as well.
Mm-hmm.
Birdsong catch it over the shoulder. Raleigh looks to get us started with a quarter opening hold. Just outside the end zone is Hoffman, but Birdsong is there to cap it off. So nice, clean offense for Raleigh to get us started here in the fourth.
They're stripping away the goals from Hoffman and replacing them with assists.
Another real close one. That first foot might have been in the end zone.
Mm-hmm.
Hard to tell, though, with those bang-bang plays. So it'll be Emma Cole to PUL to get this next point started. Mogg gets the centering pass. Fagan comes underneath. Thought about going deep, then does, but the cutter no longer in the right space. I think if Fagan was going to find success in that pass, it needed to come a little bit earlier than that. It was Grace Robinson that she was looking for. Macy Hudson comes underneath. Resets it to Duffy.
McDuffie new to this team from Austin. Great to have her here.
Yeah, real PUL stalwart Meg Duffy.
Mm-hmm.
Has also played with the now defunct Columbus Pride. And that one goes right off her fingertips. I think she gave it everything she had to save that one, but a bit beyond her reach. And now Nashville has a short field. And they will take advantage. Fagan there to cap it off on the counterattack.
Fagan, fun fact, she likes bird watching, and her pinky is very small.
How small do you think is very small for a pinky to be?
Well, the first question is it a finger or a toe?
Surely it would be pinky toe if she meant her toe.
Okay.
Right?
Do you need a pinky to throw?
Probably not. But I'm certainly no doctor. It probably helps to catch, though, I would think.
This is true. She's doing a great job with that small pinky.
She is. She's making the most of what she's got. It's Revere who picks up and centers to you this time. Big gainer for Gross from Shikuski.
Get a little clustered.
You finds Gross. Hoffman just outside, fakes the hammer. Ooh. Collision there at the front of the stack between Revere and Madison Oakman, I believe. You have to forgive me. I can't quite make out the numbers. No, sorry, that's Callie Wickland. So we do have a pick play there. Disc back in play. A miscommunication on the rotation efforts there, but Raleigh unable to hit you despite being so open. Oh, and Hoffman cuts her defender into the ground. And there, the great finisher there punches it in.
I've lost count.
Took Raleigh a few cracks at those entry cuts. And Hoffman was sure to keep those feet in the end zone this time, so the observers couldn't take another one from her. And Mickey, usually I read this here, but since you're a player on the team, would you maybe like to, might be more appropriate for you to give that one a read?
Of course. We, the players of Raleigh Radiance, wholeheartedly support the LGBTQIA+ community. Raleigh Radiance is committed to providing a space where women matching players can thrive. In particular, we recognize the barriers that transgender women face from legislation and to social discrimination, and we want to affirm our support for the transgender inclusion in sports. Furthermore, we are committed to fostering a supportive and inclusive culture within our team and in the broader Triangle Ultimate community, especially for our youth Ultimate players.
Thank you, Mickey. I think important to get that one out for sure. An important thing to remember, really, about why the PUL was founded in the first place, especially as it may stand in the current landscape of things. So thank you so much, all of those who do so much hard work to make the PUL run, both here and at the league level. As we see Nashville cap off a nice possession there. That's been something they've struggled to do a little bit too much in this game to hang around competitively with Raleigh, but they've certainly shown some flashes of just some very impressive offensive work.
Take enough shots, you'll score some goals.
Some have got to land eventually, right?
Exactly.
But they have found some good success when they've moved that disc quickly across the field and taken some shots like that.
Yes. If not now, when?
Melanie Thomas sends the pull down for Nashville. Shakuski finds you, and you wants the big forehand right away, and Rippey has steps. This King's a bit late, but not enough for the Nightshade to make a play defensively. Quick work for the Raleigh offense. Bit of a wrinkle there, Mickey. We've seen Ellen get the centering pass so often.
Yes.
But this time she's the initial cut, and then uses that big throw you were talking about earlier.
Yep.
So Raleigh gets to trot the defense right back out there. Looks like it'll be Jay-Z on the pull, Julia Zwerzinski.
Good thumbs up, ready to go.
Pulled to about midfield there from Jay-Z. Tori Radcliffe finds herself in a lot of space and immediately tries to push it down to the end zone, but Jay-Way is there defensively for Raleigh to swat it away. Nashville tried to find the connection to Anna Lee there in the end zone. Might have been a tough call on if that one stayed in bounds long enough or not, but Jay-Way was there to make absolutely certain.
Jay-Way once bred hamsters as her side hustle, but no more, she says.
Is that real?
I believe so.
I don't really know what to say about that, to be honest with you. You've really thrown me with that one. I'll have to talk to Jay-Way about that and get some more details for you folks for the next broadcast. Quick exchange of turnovers there while I was stunned by that hamster fact.
Mm-hmm.
Great cut to get open there. Oh. And then the hook to the end zone, 4-way, nice play, Macy Hudson. Great stab to get open, and then the immediate push downfield for Jay-Way, who atones for that turnover, the previous possession.
Mm-hmm. Would that be considered a bookends?
Did she get the block? If I'm being honest, I was so shocked by what you... Oh, you're saying from the initial... No, I don't think you can get bookends if it's not the D before the score.
Oh, okay. That's the soft bookends.
Yeah,
the college bookends.
It takes a lot to really throw me off my game. I've been doing this for quite some time.
That guy.
Yeah, I've never heard of anyone breeding hamsters as a side hustle before.
Yeah.
I have to be honest with you.
Yeah, she's a weird girl.
We do love our Jay-Way, though.
We do. I don't know what we would do without her. We wouldn't have a team.
I shudder to think.
Sure.
Yeah, it would be bleak.
We've got a lot more fun facts where that came from. Our team is quite an extraordinary group of people.
That one's going to be hard to top, I think. We maybe should have closed with that one. This one gets away and then pops up over the head of Stacy Liu. Hoffman was there to get the block just in case.
Injury call.
Looks like it'll be Bree Snipes who comes off, but hopefully her ability to jog off the field there on her own indicates it's not too serious of an injury. It looks like she's going to try to work out a cramp there, perhaps. As we see Raleigh miscue on the return to play. So Nashville gets the disc back. And the high stall punt is going to be intercepted by Anderson downfield. Contact between Thomas and Hoffman. Thomas is trying to make a late play and I think maybe needed to pull out a little bit sooner than she did.
You see Hoffman brought in to this D-line this time around.
Good defensive pressure there from Wickland, but it pops up in the air, and Thayer is able to make the play. And yeah, we've not seen Hoffman on many D points this game. She's currently unmarked at the moment.
Interesting.
Yeah, not sure what's happening here from a Nashville point of view defensively. Not sure if it's confusion or just some tired legs, but disc back is Back in play now. Nice
Ooh.
grab to save possession by Sadie Cutler.
Whoa!
And she gives it right back to Julia Hoffman. Couple of unconventional completions there, but Raleigh does punch it in for the score, and Hoffman will add yet another to her goal-scoring tally.
The sloppy zop follows all.
Yeah, you may have been onto something with that, Mickey. When you said that, I was like, I don't know if anyone's, peak is in sloppy play, but.
Oh, when you moved to North Carolina. Seems to have taken all of the energy out of Julia Hoffman as she tries to regain her strength on the sideline. She's close to double digits at this point in career goals this season.
Yeah, we don't have live stats for this game, but
Mhm.
I would wonder if we're getting close to a career high for goals for her in this one.
I believe so.
Yeah, she's got to be up there.
Yep. The game within the game, we call it.
Holly Sullivan resets to her sister, Savannah.
Ooh.
Nice job by Lee to track that one down. Fagan makes the grab under pressure from Bevins. Nice grab by Mogg to save possession. And Holly's just outside for Nashville. Savannah now, but no, well defended by Duffy. She knocks it away from Mogg right when it looked like Nashville was sure to punch it in. And Jenna Dahl wants to make sure no timeouts go unwasted in this one. She's going to throw that flag one last time. You got another fact for us?
I do. Meg Duffy has biked from Rhode Island to California.
That is wild.
That really is.
I mean, we have to assume she means like bicycling.
I hope well, can't state my opinions right now.
No. Are you anti-bicycle?
No. Well.
All right, I won't push you. We won't get you in hot water. Live on the broadcast.
There
here.
are many bikes that I have qualms with.
Oh, interesting. Okay. We'll have to leave the people wondering.
Yeah. I'll write a fun fact for when I start playing again.
Okay. And will it be about bikes?
I'll try.
Okay. Yeah, we would appreciate that.
Revere.
Big rip for Rippey, and great job to box out the defender from Mary Rippey.
This is Radiance offense.
LNU there for her second goal of the game. I don't know if it came across on the broadcast, but we could hear up here the fans oohing and awing as Caitlin Gross, rather than looking at the wide open LNU downfield, looked to reset very quickly. But Ellen does get the goal she deserved with the space she earned for herself there, as we take another look at the huck downfield from Rev. We've seen goals of all varieties from Raleigh today. We've seen some scrappy ones, the sloppy zop, as Mickey would say. We've seen some good hucks. We've seen some really quick, rapid, fast break opportunities they've converted on. And that offensive variety, I think, has been something that's been missing for for them, the ability to score in different ways and not have to have every single thing go perfectly for you to convert on your opportunities. So that has to be a very reassuring thing for Raleigh as they try to turn their season around and remain in the playoff hunt. They do need some results around the league to go their way. A big one will be the Atlanta Soul versus DC Shadow game that's happening right now. And then Raleigh will have another big showdown with DC in DC, which has been a very tough place for any team really to go and win. But it has been one that has given Raleigh quite a lot of fits over the last few years. So certainly a tough test ahead of them. But a nice bounce back performance from the Radiance after such a tough game in their last outing, as we see the turnover underneath from Nashville. Anderson looks to weight it perfectly downfield. Does it stay in bounds? Yes, it does. Big grab under pressure as well from Sadie Cutler on the perfectly weighted ball from Naomi Anderson.
Hopefully Bex didn't hit the rubber too hard, the back of that end zone.
Take another look at the bid from Fagan. Yeah, that's not a fun surface to come down on. Yeah. Not that there's a great surface to ever really come down on this turf field, but and I have to say I want to give Naomi Anderson some respect because the line there through the middle of the end zone really deceived me. That one was never at risk of going out the back. That was in the whole way. So a perfectly placed pass.
Yes.
These lines can be a little confusing at times when you're trying to tell when a play is going to be in or out of bounds, or where on the field exactly the play may be. So I do hope you'll cut me some slack out there. Nat Gross surveys the field. Sliding grab from Stacy Liu, who has just made that catch, her calling card today. We have a pick that will send the disc back to Liu.
Stacy Liu, a current professor and past figure skater.
Wow. I have to say, I mean, there are a lot of very impressive people in this league. And it is easy to forget that, these players are semi-professional players and often are doing very impressive things in their day-to-day. Ooh, a lot of contact there from Way. You don't like to see that, especially late in a game like this. But everyone seems no worse for wear. And we will get one final timeout call. Nashville looking to punch this one in. 14 seconds left. They are in the red zone. And just wanting to make sure that they end this one on a good note after what has been a tough road trip to Raleigh for the Nashville Nightshade. But they, as a team, have plenty to hold their heads high about. Some very impressive individual performances from them as well. It'll be Grace Robinson with the disc in her hands as we get back underway. Fagan cuts up line and leaves her defender in the dust. Nice cut from Rebecca Fagan, and she punches in one final score for Nashville on the day. So tally that one in a successful timeout call. Nice conversion rate there for Nashville.
So the rules have changed this year a little bit for fourth quarter ending with there not being a buzzer beater anymore. It will continue such that the possession you play until, I guess, the possession.
Yeah, like any other quarter.
Exactly. Yeah.
The timer will hit 0, and then whichever team has the disc at that moment will get to play out the final possession of the game.
Yes, thank you.
No problem. That's what I'm here for, partner.
As well as, I believe when the PUL goes up, the timer does not start until the disc is in play.
It would appear that you are correct.
And here we go.
So the final seconds ticking away in this one. Let's see how much Raleigh wants to end this one with a score of their own.
A game of possession.
We are at 0s on the clock, so this will be the final possession of the game as Erica Birdsong drops it back to Emily Shakuski. Caitlin Gross hits you, who's all alone, and she hits Revere just outside the end zone.
Will Juju get it?
She will indeed. You can't keep her out of the end zone.
Amazing.
What a game from Julia Hoffman. We'll have to check the final stats for you. I imagine it's going to be a career day for Julia Hoffman. She's been in the end zone pretty much all day long. But overall, it's been a very strong performance from Raleigh today. 27 goals on the board, a high mark for the season for them. And they handle well a Nightshade team, Mickey, that really did have some very bright moments today, I thought.
Agreed. I think that they did exactly what their coach told us they were going to do.
Yeah, they had some highlight reels, hit the deep space well, but did not have enough to hang around with Raleigh, who will have a lot to build on for this one going forward. We're going to get out of here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for supporting the PUL. For Sarah McKee, I'm Daniel Prentice. Thanks so much for watching. We'll catch you all at